Hello students, today I shall discuss dimensions of culture. So there are three main dimensions of culture. First is cognitive aspect of culture. Cognitive is related to cognition, which can be defined as mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience and the senses. That means through our senses we can understand what is going on in the society or what is going on in the environment. Okay, thus the word cognitive refers to how we learn to process what we hear or see so as to give it meaning. It also refers to understanding how we make sense of all the information coming to us from our environment. For example, by hearing the sound of a cell phone, we can understand whether that cell phone is our or mine or someone else or my father's or my mother. That means it is our cognitive aspect which helps us to understand the information. Okay. Now, second point is that in literate societies, ideas are transcribed in books and documents and preserved in libraries, institutions, or archives. But in non literate societies, legends or lore is committed to memory and transmitted orally. In our society, you can see that we get knowledge by reading books or reading different documents, but in non-literate society knowledge are transcribed orally. That means they rely more on oral knowledge. That means in their society people or in non-literate society people cannot read and write, so they transmit their knowledge orally. Whenever they talk with each other, they give information to each other. But in our society where the literate sections of people reside, we learn or we gather knowledge by reading different books or different novels or different documents, because we rely more on written documents rather than oral knowledge. Okay, so Alter Ong in his book Orality and Literacy states that only 78 of the approximately 3000 existing languages possess a literature. Okay, and Ong also suggests that material that is not written down has certain specific characteristics, and there is a lot of repetition of words to make it simpler and to remember, as we remember the word which are repeatedly here. The audience of an oral performance is likely to be more repetitive and involved than would be readers of a written text from an unfamiliar culture, and text become more elaborate when they are written. That means when something is orally imparted, at that time it is seen that repeatedly some words are using, or they are while explaining they use some words repeatedly. That means those words are important and people can understand what the orator wants to explain. So sometimes it is seen that in some of the lecture repeatedly some words are emphasized, okay, which you may not get when you read a book or you go through any written document. Fine. Next point is that sociological studies are often concerned with investigating how literacy can be made relevant to the lives of people whose families have never gone to school. They try to find out the practical applicability of studying something. Okay, if one person is reading a particular subject, then it's sociologist task to find out the relationship between that subject with the practical life. Sometimes it is seen that there is no relation between the knowledge we get in the educational institution with the practical situation, and sociologists try to establish the relationship between the two. Okay. Next point is that the contemporary world allows us to rely far more on written audio and visual records. So we study books, documents rather than orally imparting knowledge. That means in the present situation we rely more on written documents. So we prefer to study book rather than hearing someone or other. Okay, so these are the main points under cognitive aspect of culture. Okay.